Welcome everyone for this second video regarding the new Sprocket updates 0.2. I have made the first video as a live first impression when I discovered the new things. And now I will talk about the new things I have found worth mentioning. If you are new in this channel, I am Mosaid. You can subscribe and join my community on Discord, link in the description. Let's start the video guys with the first point I have noticed in the new version. The first thing I have noticed is the new view button location. We can have the normal view, the internal view and the Armour view. We'll be using the internal and normal view very often, and I will talk about the internal view later in the video. The second point is the new way to interact with your tank element. We can directly select what we want to edit in our tank, which makes things faster and easier than just keep looking for the right option in the menu. Interacting with our tank elements make it much fun to build, not gonna lie, I like it. Though it can be tricky to find what should we select to edit certain things. For example, the turret diameter and editing the turret's traverse torque and ratio. And this is also something I will talk later in the video. Before talking about the freeform, let's talk about the fuel. Now we need to either use the barrels or the new fuel reservoir. It's a box that you can place inside your hull, and I find it very realistic. Also the fact that you can barely clip it to leave the fuel tank cap visible from the outside. And about the barrels, it's like in collision with the entire tank, which is not realistic, and it can lead to people using it to add more fuel without collision restraints inside the tank. Number 4, quick mention of the exhaust smoke being much better than the previous one. Though before and while testing the tank is different, and regardless of the engine it seems to have the same effect, which maybe needs to be corrected for my opinion. Also the smoke disappears after going back to the designer. You will need to reload the blueprint to get the smoke again. No big deal, but this needs to be fixed. Number 5, the flip and auto flip button for objects. I'm pretty sure we all suffered from this auto flip in the previous version. When you move an object to the other side of the tank, it just flips by itself, which ruins all our plan to use it as a decoration. Now there is a button to prevent that. Make sure to disable the auto flip though in both objects in the case you spawned two with the mirror activated. You can also flip them individually, which is amazing. Number 6, a new thing I have loved in the paint settings, it's the new Grime. Now it just looks so realistic, I love it, nothing more to say about it. After the paint we have the decals. A new feature that we are glad to have is to control the depth of the decal, which prevents it to be spread all over the compartment, and sometimes it can even be visible in other compartments, and this one was an annoying one. Number 8, part repositioning in Freeform. This feature was introduced in the previous version 0.127, but it wasn't that effective, but I can tell it seems to be working very well in this new version, as you can see. Number 9, let's talk about Freeform now. It has been a while I didn't build a tank, but I can tell you this new version make it so easy to handle the points and especially the edges that became visible before you select them, and of course they are much easier to select. And this includes a new option to create face between two edges, which make it faster than selecting 3 or 4 points individually. Number 10, talking about creating a face, let's talk about creating a hole for the turret ring. I have noticed 2 ways to do it, either by selecting a face or by selecting points. You can easily notice that creating a hole with the face option doesn't make it that great. The best option is by points, and the more points you have, the better smoothness you get. The number of 8 points can give you a pretty good result. Number 11, worth mentioning the improvement in the freeform mirror. Deleting a face in one side or filling it will do the same thing in the other side. Though I can also mention in this point that inverted faces are surely not a problem anymore in this version. Number 12, after finishing the hole you have made for the turret, you will place your turret on the hole, and suddenly you realize that the hole is bigger or smaller and you want to adjust your turret ring. As I said earlier in the video, it was pretty tricky to find, and thanks to Koda Serbian who taught me where to find it. You can also edit the turret traverse ratio and torque in here. Number 13, as you have already noticed, we are getting more and more into the internal view which is the main new thing in this update, also called geometrical internals. You will need to manage your internal space in a better way. Forget about the silly overfilling bar we are used to have before. Now it's much better to manage it, but you will have to take some points in consideration. Let's start by putting our crew member in the tank. After placing it, you can see all the settings on your right side of the screen, and make sure you give a role to your new crew member. In this case, he will take care of the steering wheel. In my other example, I have 4 crew members, and as you can see in the turret, I made sure the 2 crew members would have just enough space to work. Moving an arm in the setting will lead to a collision. These options can make you squeeze some crew members in a tiny space. Also notice that we don't have any green bubbles anymore, that annoying bubbles. Now it's more realistic with 3D models of crew members. Number 14, the other thing you need to take in consideration is the armor thickness. Yes, now the more you add armor, the more the panel will be thick, and this will directly affect the interior of your compartment, which can lead to the crew members not having enough space, and this is a great addition to the game. Though what I dislike with this is the visibility of the armor thickness from the outside. Number 15, now let's talk about the gun. You have the cannon and the mantlet that will work together. Placing the cannon without the mantlet won't let you have any gun depression or elevation. This last one is controlled by the mantlet, which makes things much exciting and challenging because it takes in consideration the internal space for the elevation and depression. Of course, don't forget to give the role to one of your crew members, otherwise your elevation won't work. I didn't have much time to work with the cannon and mantlet, so I might have forgotten some stuff, or I might be wrong about something. My apologies in advance. Number 16, and for the end of this video I will talk about the cannon collision, which means now we can place anything including turrets on the cannon segments, and this can allow us to make our custom muzzle brake. I have made a quick one just for the video, and it's very cool when it recoils with the cannon. And it's the end of this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you next time.